Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Joining us now is musician and Topeka native Eddie Wakes. He's been out in LA and all across the world working on projects from things for Walt Disney to the Oscar-winning film La La Land. And now he's performing live this weekend at the historic Jayhawk Theater with his new series, Boundless. Here's a quick listen.
A melody, green apple trees, still autumn leaves are falling. Wishing well, a distant bell, hey ice cream man, the voice of children calling. I know I'll never find the kind memories I left far.
All right, well, you guys just heard a little sample of his music, but let's hear from the man himself. Good morning, Eddie.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Really good. Thank you for joining us today.
Good to be here. Thank you. Good to be back home.
Of course. So you have the concert coming up, Boundless. You know, how does it feel to be back home for the concert?
Man, it's great. I mean, you know, a lot of what I'm using right now, wherever it's going to take me around the world, it's where I've picked it up right here in Topeka. So I'm glad to show you what I've done with what you've taught me here. And music has been a major part, big part of our tradition as a family, you know, in my community and school. And so, yeah, I'm happy to share that with you. Yeah, back home in Topeka.
I bet. And, you know, a lot of your music, your influence, the American Songbook, you know, what draws you to that type of music right there?
That is a good question. I think, you know, 9 boys in my family.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Where most of my brothers loved Motown back when we were growing up, and of course, a lot of the other top 40 stuff. I don't know why, man. I think it was listening to Nat Cole and Frank Sinatra just drew me to it, and who knew that I would be this Forrest Gump kind of experience, bumping into all the people that created that music, you know, like Nelson Riddle, who did all of Nat Cole and Frank Sinatra stuff, you know, I Got You Under My Skin, and Quincy Jones and all those guys. So it's, I think it's just something that just was a fortuitous kind of connection, or a symbiotic thing that connected me with that music early on.
Yeah.
You know, I was the only guy that checked out Frank Sinatra in high school, so yeah, there we go. I was a square all the way.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, it's gotten you to LA. I know we were talking earlier, you've been out to Australia, and you've been all over the place. You're in Vegas now.
Yes.
And you know, obviously going through some of your work, you have a song on the soundtrack to La La Land.
Yes.
And that must be really great.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, those guys, young kids too, you know. It's good to see these kids that are connected to that music. Damien Chazelle met me early on when I was still street performing in LA, and said, man, we love your music. We want to have you a part of our student film. And it connected me to them, and little did we know that they would be doing this great behemoth of a project called La La Land. And they called me up and said, hey, we got to have you back. Come to Hollywood Hills, record the record with us, this song that I made just for you, or this arrangement of a song, and that's what they did. It was phenomenal, and it blew up. That's, of course, you know.
Oh, that's great.
It's great.
And you also did work on The Lion King for the Walt Disney production. Well, tell me about that. That sounds awesome.
No, it's, you know, having a wide range, I think I have almost a 4-octave range, so they put me in the position where I could, you know, kind of cover for all the guys, and then I would one of the 3 hyenas I would cover for occasionally. But that was, you know, started a bit in New York, and then over in Sydney, Australia. For 3 years I was over there. And of course, I continue to work on my music as well. So, but no, you know, Disney was great, and they take very good care of their people. Great production, you know, 8 shows a week, you know, the Broadway run. So that was phenomenal experience, and taught me a lot.
That's great. And you know, real quick, obviously we got Boundless coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
You know, what can people expect from this concert?
That is a celebration of Midwestern contributors to the American Songbook. You know, I'm from Kansas. Count Basie is from Kansas City, Charlie Parker, you know, Joe Turner. So it'll be a kind of a love letter of expressions to those contributors to the songbook, arrangers, and Ralph Carmichael, who was, you know, Nat Cole's arranger, all his Christmas recordings. He helped me put this together because we did a Netflix film on the life of Nat Cole. And so it's going to be a great celebration of those songs from 19-teens to the 1960s. And various arrangements that may be familiar, and then I'll throw in a few originals as well as those that people already know.
All right. Well, Eddie, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
We're out of time, but
Pleasure.
I'm looking forward to the show. And be sure to catch Eddie this Saturday at the historic Jayhawk Theater. You can also follow Eddie Waits on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and eddiewakes.com.